Every time I watch that video, I got to update that thing because that Florida Country Magazine TV was a great idea, but I could not figure out how to record all that stuff and do it myself. So, I wish I could figure that out because that was an awesome idea and nobody else is doing it. So I still could come back and do it. Hello, Tina Berry.
Hey, Tina. How are you?
Like I noticed like the things aren't working since they did the last update. Like the counter's not working.
You know
So
what? There's
weird.
so many people that say like they can't see all the comments, or all of a sudden the comments just go away, and people are like, "What the heck is going on here?"
I know I need to write that down because I dealt with the support team today because I was actually locked out earlier and it was giving me issues.
Good to hear, Tina.
Good. So Tina is on YouTube. I like that new feature. They're showing where they're coming in from.
I don't see where you see that.
You don't see like right there at her name, there's like a little YouTube symbol. You see
No,
it in the chat? That's so weird.
it'll
Aren't you
just
looking?
say it just says at.
Yeah, but look next to it, her picture. See, it's got a little YouTube symbol.
Hold
You
on, I
see
got to
it,
put my
Deborah?
cheaters on.
Hi, Deborah.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi, Marie.
Oh, okay.
You
I'm
see
so
it? See, it
stupid.
says
Duh.
there on Facebook. See the little icon? Oh, you didn't have your glasses on. I told you you're going to need your glasses. They got like
Yeah,
a little symbol next to it.
I see it now. I can see the Facebook sign or the other sign. So yeah, I get it. Hey, Deborah.
Oh, I
Hey,
don't know.
Marie.
I was starting to get worried there. Like, okay, I don't see Facebook people. So, hi, Isabel.
Hi, Isabel. Hey, Cindy.
Cindy.
Just waiting
Why don't
for
this
people to
thing
get
go
on
away?
here. Hey, Dale.
Dale, I got to tell you, when we got off, I did not see your comment that you did not have any bread. And I want you to let you know that I'm sure you still don't have any bread.
You know what? You should just forget about the bread. He's never
I
gonna
know
get it.
the bread's not coming. It's
Ever.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Ever,
Thank God.
ever.
At least he got the damn grill.
Yeah, be happy, Dale, and call it a 50-50, and just know
Yeah.
you're never getting the Wonder Bread.
Yeah.
Ever.
I got some Wonder Bread Dell up here on my oven, though. I'll share it with you.
Hey,
Yeah,
Carol.
the counter doesn't work anymore. Nothing works in here. I, I'm curious to see if it changes. If I
Oh, it's so crazy.
The guy told me today, well, if you just click or right click over stuff, you'll see there's new features. And I'm like,
Yeah,
nothing I
like
can right
where?
click on works. Hi, Carol. So I hope everybody had a good week, had a nice weekend.
Oh, I see.
Mom, hello, everybody.
Hold on, I'm getting a couple people PMing me.
Uh-oh. Hopefully they're not stuck somewhere.
Well, they're saying they can't get on. Hey,
Yeah,
Lonnie.
it's a whole year. So I'm
Yeah,
excited to
Carmen
meet.
said she can't get on Facebook. Let's see. I'll just try her to. I'll tell her to try YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, but I see a bunch of Dale, all them are from Facebook.
Yeah, Limes is, so that's
Tell her
weird.
refresh the page and then click on where we're chit chatting. She loves
Oh,
her angels.
thank
They're
you,
beautiful.
Tina. That's somebody got me that angel. That was a girlfriend of mine got me that after my mom passed away. So
Um,
thank you.
Barb and I realized that we're not totally technologically dysfunctional because Barb solved why she was higher than I was. And it was the camera. My camera was higher. So I just moved my camera and we're all good. I feel like Barb is like on top of shit today.
Yeah, well,
Hi,
it happens
Susan.
sometimes.
Hi, Joanne.
Hey, Joanne. Hi, Susan.
Dale. Oh, Dale. That's what I need. Another lawyer in my life.
Oh my gosh.
You see that? That was not very nice, Dale.
Wow, that is pretty
What is
rude,
the name
Dale.
of that group? Zimmerman Agency. Take it up with the Zimmerman Agency.
Let's all
Uh-oh.
write them.
I didn't learn my lesson. Forget it. Take it up with the no name agency. So we're glad that everybody's here.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of scare last week, huh, Barb? With him.
Yeah, M15 going missing for almost 48 hours. It isn't unusual for him to go away for, a day, a little over a day. But when it started hitting 2 days, I was starting to get a little concerned. And of course, my phone was absolutely blowing up all day. It was a day I didn't go to the nest, and yes, Lime, little shit.
Yeah.
That's perfectly Emmers. So, but and I don't know if he was gone a little while longer because of hey, Eagle Lover. I don't know if he was gone a little bit longer just to kind of teach E26 a lesson, because that baby's been so very aggressive towards him at
Needy.
times.
Very needy.
And just thought, you know what? I'm going to teach you a 2-day lesson, little
Yeah.
shit.
No, I was like, trust me, if he went missing, I was going to come out. Be like, "Wah!" Be over there because it was crazy.
Oh
When I
yeah.
saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah, I
uh,
was starting to get really worried. I PM'd Liz and I said, "Are you worried?" And she says, "I'm getting close." And when Liz got close, I was like, "Oh shit." Just, because Liz
he's
probably
very
knows,
patient. Yeah.
yeah, and she knows these Eagles better than anybody. Me, any of the other photographers. So, um and so and Liz said, "I'm going to give it till tomorrow." And I said, "Well, I'm going in the morning, and if he's not back, I definitely will start searching." I had and then I don't know, it was like a little after 4 o'clock. My phone just started freaking blowing up. And I'm like, oh, great, he's back.
Yeah.
There's no way that my phone would have blown up like that unless he was back.
Yeah.
So
I
I was
know.
happy put that out that Emmers was back, and I mean, he's my heart eagle. Love him.
Right. But I'm talking, I think if people would have really paid attention, you took this awesome photo and E26 was trying to tell everybody something, right?
Well, this is a couple days after, but yeah, I'm going to share some
But she was
pictures.
trying to tell somebody something.
Yeah, I took some pictures the other day. This was after Emmers came home, but had I had this picture from the get, I would have posted it.
It's the best.
It is really cute. Hold on, let me share this with you guys. Oh geez, hold on.
Let's see if it works this time. Let's see if it works. Carmen.
What's happening here? Hold on.
I don't know what happened, Carmen. I don't see it. Come on now.
All right, now let me do it. Share screen.
Now let's see if it shows up without it. Anybody?
Okay, now this is a picture that I took of little E26 on Sunday. It was just Desiree and I were there, and this little she found the stump and started playing, and oh my gosh, it was so funny. I mean, I was cracking up. Now here's the picture that I that Dad went that way.
Hi, Melody. Yeah, Dad is over there. That
I
is
have
like
never got
really
a picture of
awesome.
an eagle or an eaglet with one wing stretched straight out and the other one not stretched out at all. This was just
Is
crazy.
that not the best picture? Like, I love this picture. He's over there.
Yeah, Dad went that way, you guys. And then this was B26 playing peekaboo with me. So it was really, really cute. Um, this baby is just so special. And but man, she's definitely needy, and she kind of. But I am going to share a story with you guys, and I am hoping that this warms your heart as much as it did mine. When Desiree and I were at the nest, this was the same day those previous pictures were taken. There, E26 was in the. I think she was in the snag tree, and then or she was in the pine tree next to the nest. And then all of a sudden, Dad flies into the nest tree, and right behind him is a female. And she flies over to the front pine, or not the front pine, I'm sorry, the front snag. And I had went around the big oak tree to get pictures of her. And Desiree was further down on the sidewalk. Des and I were the only people there. And you guys are not going to believe this, but I heard a snap. Like the female left that snag, and I heard a snap. And I looked over at Desiree, and like her jaw was hanging down. That female went to that nasty snag that's there that F23 went to every single day and tried to snatch a stick off of. And she broke off a giant stick. Desiree did get the picture of her with that stick, but then here comes E26 going right after her. She dropped the stick and took off. But I'm going to tell you what, I was like, oh my gosh, this is F23 reincarnated. Like, I could not believe, Harriet, I don't ever remember Harriet doing that. That was always F23's thing. And I mean, I have hundreds of pictures of her doing that. And I just could not believe it. Like, my heart was so full, and all I could think to myself was, she's trying to prove to M that she's worthy.
Yeah.
And, and then shortly after the little shit ran her off, M15 followed her. So I do think that he's in like courting mode right now, and I'm really hoping it's her. She's really beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful. She's not nearly as big as F23, but I don't think I've seen an eagle down here as big as her. I think she must have came from Alaska or something. But it was really special to see that, because I just looked at Desiree and I said, oh my God, I love her already.
I miss Des. How's she doing?
Des is doing good. We had our little tea thing for the photographers. Debbie Myers was there. We went to the Wisteria Tea House on Saturday. Usually totally not my thing, but it was nice to go and be with everybody. So
good.
But yeah, I mean, that was pretty crazy when that female did that, because I heard the branch snap, and I'm like, oh my God.
And that's the one that F has always tried to break?
Oh, every day she would go and do that. Like every single day this season that I was there, she would go and try to snap off a branch off that tree. Wow. Sometimes she would make it, and other times she wouldn't. But I was just like, I was floored.
Wow.
But then I was happy too, and I thought, oh my gosh, should I put, I did a post, and I thought, I don't want anyone to think that I'm forgetting about F23, because I'm not at all. And
no, but you have to move on with them and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I know that, that M needs to take a mate so that he doesn't lose this nest. And but it was just it was really special because like Des and I looked at each other,
Hi,
and I mean we
Summer.
were both really really close to being in tears.
Did you
You
see
know,
what
really
Melody said?
something.
Melody said F-23 sent this female for M.
You know, and I will tell, you know, people, you know, they bash me for saying this, but I think that F-23 was sent by Harriet.
Yeah,
So, you
got to
know,
take care of our boy M.
yeah,
Carmen, Carmen said, "What a sweet way to look at the female eagle trying to prove herself to M. I do hope that she is chosen." F-23 telling him that she's the one. That's nice. Marie
yeah.
said, "Just wondering how many saw the 3-year-old come to the nest and made herself at home. Laugh out loud. That whole scene was a first for the nest."
I did see that, and I think that was the maybe I don't know if it was a 3-year-old or possibly a 4-year-old because it was darker. It was kind of hard to see, but that could have very well been 17 or 18. You know, just
That's,
needing a rest and stopped at the nest, and
I
then you
always
know.
wonder that. Do
As
they
soon
ever
as the
just
morning came, E26 is like, get the hell out of my nest. And went and flushed that other sub adult out. And I'm telling you, like,
was it Jackie and Shadow's nest that had the real vicious like eaglet in there, or was it a different nest? The one that the eaglet was just so bad. It just was traumatizing the other eaglet. And it's like she kind of
oh, I don't
reminds me of she's
know.
just like a bad just like not
Well,
be
I mean,
bad, but
I am so happy to see that. You know, other people had said, oh well, you know, it's too late for Jackie and Shadow to have a second clutch,
they did.
and they did. And I mean, you know what? They've got these two precious little
Hi,
eaglets now,
Kathy.
and it's just like so special. Like I'm so happy for Jackie and Shadow. And you know, actually, you know, they have these babies later. Like last year when they had the three, the one froze to death. But then now you look at, you know, yeah, they're 7,000 feet above sea level, but you're not seeing where, you know, they're having, you know, the 2 feet of snow in the nest, and all you can see is the eagle's head
I
sticking up.
know. That is
So
pretty amazing to see her. Like she'll just stay there forever too. Jackie's very good at that. Like it's nothing but just like little eyes.
no, I
Like
know, and I'll tell you,
wow.
Shadow is such a clod. There's times the M15 can be a clod, bringing stuff into the nest, because God
No,
knows.
Shadow
But
is all the
Shadow,
time.
oh my God, he's not anywhere near on M15's level. I love
No,
him,
no.
but
Mm. Oh
but
my
it is
god.
funny, like when you kind of compare nests and see this, that, and the other. So
Right.
it is pretty funny. But now I'm going to turn this, now that we've got the nest things happening over. I'm going to turn this over to you, Scarlett.
Well, thanks a lot, Barb. Yeah, so we asked last week a couple of things that to help us move along and talk about different subjects. And one, I believe it was Marie, she had brought up about talking about the ever-changing landscape in Florida and with development, building roads and just businesses and all kind of stuff that is just growing, how it affects our wildlife, not only eagles, because you know we watch the eagles, we focus, it's easy just to focus on the nest, but their world is so much bigger than that. Eagles need space, they for nesting, hunting, raising their young, surviving day to day. They rely on large areas of open land, access to water, and safe places to build their nest year after year. But with our landscape changing due to, housing, roads, businesses, wildlife has to adjust. And sometimes that adjustment isn't easy for them. So I thought we'd talk a little bit what's happening with development, land changing, how it affects our animals. One of the biggest impacts is habitat loss, where land is cleared and wildlife loses a place to live. Um, Access to food, shelter, clean water areas, and more increased human interaction. So it's a big deal that's happening here in Florida because it's just more and more people keep, moving to our state. But there's a lot of things that we can do ourselves. And I don't know if anybody has, but, there's a lot of things that we can do. It doesn't matter if you live in the city or you have some acreage, but there's some different stuff that we can do ourselves to help certain species survive and thrive. So I don't know if anybody has done any like special planning. Maybe you do stuff for hummingbirds, butterflies, different kind of stuff. But I was just interested if anybody has done any stuff that you've done to protect wildlife around. What was
Wow,
that?
what happened?
I don't even know what that was. Could you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Like all of a sudden you're on the left, I'm on the right. I'm like, wait a minute, what's
What
happening?
just happened? Like, oh, that's right. I am on the right now. Okay, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but oh, there's something else. But humans are taking away all the wildlife homes.
They need to slam our border door closed and stop letting all these people in here in Florida. Just tell them we're full.
Now, no one can disturb an actual eagle nest, but I'm talking about with development, let's just say building around. Sometimes we're lucky, I think, in Florida because Florida eagles, I think, are used to ever all the noise and traffic sounds and stuff like that. Because you see a lot of nests, especially the old Dairy Queen nest off of Sanibel.
Hmm.
I don't, is that nest still there? The Dairy Queen
Yeah,
nest?
yeah, they've got two eaglets in that nest.
Okay. They're a perfect example of adapting because of people around, constant sounds, honking horns, development going on. I think our eagles, our Florida eagles, adapt very well to loud noises and stuff. And in other states, you see where they'll literally pack up and leave. They will go try to find and build a nest in another area. Melody says, well, my yard looks like a jungle and the squirrels, rabbits, birds are loving it. See, that's great. I'm
Love that.
talking, but even if you live in the city and you really don't have a yard, there's different stuff that you could do. Um, you can put plants on your porch, put it on your windowsill. There's different stuff you could do just to kind of help out with wildlife. Building around would disturb things, wouldn't it? Absolutely. But there are protection zones for eagles, and then when you're outside that protection zone, you can build. Um,
Yeah, they have a there's a bald eagle's nest off of Buckingham Road. Or I'm sorry, not Buckingham Road, Orange River Road. And I'm going to start documenting that because that has been an area that has been, of course, approved
hey,
for,
Rebecca.
you know, a subdivision. And, Paul Dandini and myself are documenting that nest. And, you know, if it's an active eagle's nest, we're going to go after them. But look what they did in Cape Coral with that eagle's nest. I mean, they cut that freaking tree right down and they had a permit to do it. I'm sorry, man. A lot of these commissioners down here and people, they're just like, a lot of them are developers, builders, and they don't care about the wildlife. And, that's the bad thing about I think that there should be a law. You can't serve as a commissioner on a board if you're involved in any type of development, building, that type of thing. Because I mean, that's scary. I mean, because those guys can give those permits, and a lot of times they don't care. And
Right.
it's kind of sad.
Isabel, we have 5 birdhouses hanging in our yard. Wrens and sparrows are in and out of them. I think that's awesome. Like there's just so many things that you can do. And
Yeah.
even if it's just playing a very small part in this world, is doing something, I have a lot of deer and hogs out here where I am, and we see all kind of wildlife, rabbits, a lot of rabbits. And we have feed stations up. We don't hunt out here. at all, but we do have feeding stations up for them, and I like to watch them. I come out every morning. I have deer right here in the field where I'm at, and I enjoy watching all that. So we try to make sure, especially when we do have mudding events, that our all of our wildlife is protected. They go into a certain area. It's not that we corral them in there. That's just where they go. Um, but yeah, and I want to answer a question about the government. So I did look into that, and then they do have different programs that they do, but mainly it's a lot of where they preserve land. They have Conservation 2020 that they go out and they buy land and stuff for wildlife and everything. They do the wildlife corridors. So the government does put back into different programs that do help wildlife, especially if you look at the panthers and bears. I'm talking about they're running out of places. They get hit all the time, with vehicles. And, that's what's happening to our wildlife. It's more human interaction if it's, you know, mainly, running. It's unfortunate, but cars hit a lot of our wildlife. And I hate to even bring that up in this discussion, but that is, what happens with our panthers, bears.
Especially the Panthers.
Yeah, and it's sad to see that. But, they try to put up high fences. If you look at the Everglades, they try to protect the wildlife from getting on to the main road out there. Um, and I'm told they do play a big part in it.
Well, you know how much of 2020 conservation Buckingham has always been, but that's changing now with these current people here in Lee
Yeah.
County. And I mean, it's really sad. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're ruining Buckingham. I
Oh,
mean, you lived out here for years. I've been here
yeah.
for 15 years. And I mean, Buckingham is totally different than it used to
I'm
be. And
shocked
it's
to see it.
sad.
I'm like shocked to see what's happening in our area. If anybody is aware of Buckingham, I'm talking about when I bought my home there and property, I loved it because I was in the country and I could go right around the corner and be back in the city. But, I was always under the understanding that you could not develop condos and apartment complexes and stuff like that because it's a wildlife preserve. We have signs all over on
Yeah,
Buckingham
rural
Road.
preserve area.
Yeah, you are entering a rural preserve area. And so I'm shocked to see what's happened to our community over there too. And no matter how many meetings you go to, they don't care. It's
Right.
always it's for the developer. I've been to a couple myself, and you feel like you're nobody there, and your voice doesn't matter, and you see everything as positive for the developer. And unfortunately, it's happening more and more all over, but it is very sad to see, a roundabout there. And now we have all these different uh housing communities there and stuff, that all this great land that was there. I'm talking about, look at our how I want to see if it's affected that horse park over there, because it has to affect the horse park, because I think that the horse park used to be like 13 miles of trail riding, and that has to be affected now, especially with that one.
Oh, you're
uh,
talking the one right on Buckingham Road.
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
there's no way that can still be that many of trail riding anymore, because there's a big development right there. So I would like to research that and see how many miles of trail riding do we actually have anymore. It might be just contained in that horse park. I would think it probably is now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's 2020. Hello, where did you go, Scarlett? I don't know if that's 2020 area or not, but that is something that we should definitely check into. All right, what happened to Scarlett over here? But yeah, it is like Scarlett said, she lives in Buckingham and so do I. And, this is why when my husband and I moved down here, we moved down here and it was simply for the actual preserve area. The houses are not right on top of each other like some of the newer developments that they're doing. And you've got a little bit of land or whatnot, and it's really sad. It's just like, it seems like no matter where you go at this point, um, um, you
I don't
back?
even know. I don't even know what happened. The government did it. I'm
They
like,
heard us.
I was like, what the hell just happened? All it was this like black area. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
just said, when I moved here, like this was all like rural preserve area, and the houses aren't on top of each other. There's a lot of places that have horses, they have cows, they have, everything here in Buckingham, and now it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and
right.
it really sucks.
It's scary, because if you look at like LaBelle back there when they do that, gosh, what's that called? Where they say we're building a road and we're taking your property. What is that called?
Oh, eminent domain.
Yeah. That's scary to look over there. Like, look, they just did it in LaBelle and that Homestead
Well, and
Road
they're
over
saying
there.
same thing in Alva now, that they're bringing water through Alva.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, I
scary.
want to stay on my well. I don't want to be paying for city water.
Me
I would
too. Me too.
much rather have my well water, because the city water down here sucks.
Yeah. And I'm a responsible water user. I would think that my family is, but we're very cautious about it. But it's almost like they're going to force us one day to get on city water,
Yeah,
but
and I mean, it's going to end up
scary.
costing about $40,000 when everything is said and done, because they're going
Ah,
to be bringing in water and sewer. I mean, I'm keeping my well for irrigation. They can kiss my
yeah.
ass,
You see
because
what Carmen said? That
um,
people set traps to get rid of squirrels because they're eating the car wires. They're letting them go at a local park, but families are being separated. That's so sad. That's another thing, in Cape Coral. I think it's the electric company, the Quaker parrots, because they
oh
build
yeah,
nests in the power lines, they go out and get rid of them. It's, you're it's that balance of life thing, and it's terrible that wildlife never wins.
no, they don't, and it's sad. I mean, this wasn't like this 20 years ago.
No.
People cared about wildlife, and now it's just like they're expendable, and it's disturbing.
Well, you gotta like where every year, like where and where are these people are gonna go? People are having more kids, and you can't stop people from having families. It's their right too, but it's like eventually, you know, what's gonna happen to our world?
Well, the
You can't
problem is down
have so much
here
on
is,
here.
and with everything that's happened with all these people coming down here, it's like, there's just too many people down here. And, they're trying to escape whatever they're trying to escape from up north. And, you know, I mean, yeah, we don't have any income tax here and that type of thing. But it's like, geez, like, I don't know. I mean,
Yes,
it's
Marie,
getting to the point where it's too damn expensive to live here.
it is. I'm telling you,
There's tons of people that are leaving Florida now, and they're going up Tennessee.
a lot Georgia. A lot of people are moving to Georgia. I have several
Yeah.
friends that moved there. Marie, there is a on development for numbers for bears and panthers. They have been tracking bears and panthers forever. You can get GIS maps. You can go to Fish and Wildlife. You can go to Panther Conservation. You can go to different agencies and you can actually see. But I used to do this almost 19 years ago, track panthers and bears, and anything that is collared, they have been keeping track of that, and you can definitely tell, when they're on the move, when they're getting closer to roads, when they stay still, when they come in contact with other males. Now we're probably going to have another baby. There's all different types of studies out there for panthers and bears, and definitely if they're in the area, they do those studies before they do developments. And
Yeah, right.
they do. I'm talking about they do. They
They
have.
probably do, but all that is so skewed.
Well,
By
you
the
don't
time they
know.
get done, they're like,
Right.
oh, no, no panthers around here.
Well, they can't do that by law, but they, and not going to get into that kind of stuff, but they do studies for panthers and bears and all protected species and species of special concern. They do those type of studies. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you remember seeing a couple months ago where there was the over near the 6 Mile Slough Preserve off of 6 Mile Cypress,
uh, I'm
where
not
that
laughing at
Texas
you, Barb.
Roadhouse is.
I'm laughing at Essie's comment.
Huh?
I was laughing at Essie's comment. She said, I just found a petrified rat that bit into my lamp cord.
I guess he won't do that again.
Right.
But
He
yeah, there was that bear that, um, you know where the 6 Mile Slough Preserve is, right?
yes.
Okay, well, you know where the Texas Roadhouse is, a little bit closer to Colonial on 6 Mile Cypress?
Yes. Yes.
Well, they found a bear over there. And that bear was probably from that preserve. But I mean, they found these freaking idiot teenagers chasing this bear around the parking lot with their car. And I'm just like, God, like, do parents not teach their freaking kids anything anymore? I mean, that
Uh,
is really sad.
yeah. You see a lot of just ignorance sometimes when it comes to wildlife. I think everybody's seen the video that's been going around on social media of the kid with a gel. It shoots gel bullets and he's terrorizing all the dogs, just shooting dogs, random neighborhood dogs. And it's one of the hardest videos to watch, but
I can't watch
it's like
that.
an 8-year-old kid that's doing it. So, it starts at
Hey,
home. Starts at home. You've got to teach your kids at home. And people, frankly, should be teaching their kids on conservation
yeah, they should.
because that should be first and foremost taught in the home. Hi, Lisa. Um, you know, talking, I don't know, it says RYDN Dirty Llama, riding Dirty Llama or riding Dirty Llama. Yes, I see that. What happened in Canada, that's probably one of the saddest stories there with the ostriches and stuff like that. That was tough, to see that happen in Canada, so it's just happening all over. Are you guys aware of all that happened there?
No, I did not hear anything about that.
Yeah, so because of the avian flu and all these, I believe they were tested and none of them were positive, and they went and took over. They told these people they had to euthanize their animals and they would not do it. So the government came in, took over, and then they finally executed all the ostriches.
What the
Executed
hell?
literally with weapons. And it was terrible. And they took hay and built these high gates where nobody could see into there. And then they unleashed like a firing squad. It was terrible. Yeah, I'm talking about it starts with people.
That's sick.
Yeah, she said, Odette said they killed them all. It was all 300 plus ostriches, healthy and were destroyed because of the fear of the avian flu. This was not too long ago, but I'd been following it for quite a while because, are you talking about the ostriches, Carmen? But it's that was hard to watch, and I thought that they were going to win. They got to stay from the government, and it just didn't work out. And
You know what? The Canada, like I used to live in Michigan. I used to go to Canada all the time. I loved Canada.
oh my gosh, Marie, I haven't heard of that. Jesus.
And it was never like that before. I mean, Canada was awesome. They were even better than the United States as far as protection of animals way back in the day. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, that's really disturbing to hear that.
Yeah, it was terrible. But there's one thing because Marie just brought up turtles, and she said people are taking turtles and painting their shells and releasing them. And this can cause serious implications for the turtles. And one thing in Sanibel is no lights. You will not be on Sanibel. There is no lights whatsoever, just for the sea turtles. But I have not heard about that. But
Oh, I've
that's
heard about the turtles, them painting the turtle shells, and it's toxic to them. And they've been doing it down here for a long time. It's sickening.
really.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one of my stories for Florida country turtles. You know, I think that's a good article, period, on what is happening with our wildlife and stuff, and, bring awareness to stuff going on, because I was not aware of this with the turtles, and, um, I want to bring attention. Oh my gosh, that is
Definitely.
horrible. Canada's killing as many farmers' livestock as possible. It's frightening. Wow. Yeah, it's a big, I'm talking
They're
about big.
freaking crazy in Canada right now. I don't know what the hell's going on with Canada, but
I don't
man.
know. Is there a link for the YouTube live? No, you just go to, I'm sure there is a link, but if you go to YouTube SE and just type in Florida Country Magazine, you can get it right there. All we can do is just be better humans, and
Better
we can't.
stewards for the environment.
Yeah, we can't change everyone, but we can sure play our part, and do as much as we can do. And I think that's very important. And then maybe it'll rub off on somebody else. I don't know. It's a weird world we live in anymore, for sure.
Well,
Um,
the only thing that I need to get rid of in my yard is my Africanized bees.
do you have those there?
Yes.
They won't come get them?
No. They
What?
want they want $800 to remove them. I'm like, bullshit, I'm not paying
I thought
$800.
I thought there's a program to come get those because they're so deadly.
No, trust me. I got stung at one point by 14 of them suckers at one time. And yeah.
I gotta look that up because I really thought there's an organization out there that will, if they are proven to be the Africanized bees, that they'll come get those
Well,
because they
trust
don't
me, if
want
you
them
find it, let
mixing.
me know because,
They don't want to mix them with our bees.
no, and I'm going to tell you what, when those guys sting you, you know how a lot of bees, when they sting you one time, they die. These son of a bitches just keep stinging you over and over and over and over. And I had 18 of the Africanized bee stings at one point.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I had 4 or 6 across my back shoulder where I ended up with nerve damage, and then the rest of them were in the front of my forehead or up here.
They, so I did see where parents are being charged in like animal abuse cases when it is a minor. Um, and I've also seen, and I think it's like special circumstances, like when they talk to the parent and like they didn't do anything or show they no empathy or anything. But I don't really know, Marie, because I know some people that are very good parents, but the kids are just different for some reason. No matter what they try to do, it's like a losing battle. It's sometimes normally in divorce parent situations. You see stuff. They go into one environment, come back to another, and neither one's on the same page with parenting. So I hope that that wouldn't be. I'm sure it would definitely make parents would. I think it's a harsh punishment for parents sometimes with kids, depending on the age. I think if they're very young, the parents should be responsible. If they start getting into that crazy teenage years, there's no telling what kids do anymore these days. I know what I was like as a teenager, and I came from very good parents. So
But you
I,
know what? I do think that if more parents started getting charged, that a lot of this would stop because people would start being more aware of where their kids are, what the heck they're doing, and I mean, a lot of these times these kids, like, they'll sneak out of the house and the parents don't even have a freaking clue. Like, you'll see these kids like go up and bang on someone's door and scare the hell out of a homeowner and get shot. And then of course the parents are like, oh my god, my kid. Well, yeah, whatever, you
right.
should have known where your kid was. Sorry, but I mean, I don't know. I think I think a lot of parents are inattentive. They don't know what the hell is happening with their kid or what they're doing, who they're hanging out with. And, I mean, there's so much more now than there was like when we were growing up for our parents. But I mean, it's kind of scary, and I mean, some of these kids, they're getting killed and their parents didn't even know they were not in the house. I mean, I'm glad I'm not bringing up a kid nowadays. I mean, I'd be in jail because if my kid did some dumb shit like that, I'd probably kill him. So,
Right. I was seeing something, I think it was Tina. She said she just wished when people fight for something, right, something can actually get done. And
I
she
agree
hates
with
that
you,
no
Tina,
one listens.
1,000%.
Yeah. But unfortunately, not everybody, like they're fighting for something else. They're not fighting for wildlife. And, we're passionate people for sure for wildlife. And I wish more people would get involved, but some people, they just don't care enough about wildlife like we do. They will when they start disappearing, when you don't see certain species anymore. And, panthers, I do see that panthers are making a little bit of a comeback, but still they're still having dying by vehicles. Look at bears. Bears have made a big comeback, and now they've unfortunately there's open season on bears. They just did last year.
I don't agree with that at
Reduced
all.
populations, but uh there's all different kinds of stuff that goes on.
Yeah, that bear hunt thing down here, that to me, that's totally disturbing. And it's like,
Well,
you keep building in their backyards, and then somebody, comes upon a bear and scares the hell out of it and it attacks them, and then what do? They put the bear down. Stop building in their backyard. Like, they don't have anywhere to go.
yeah, they're
And I
definitely
mean,
leaving.
Fort Myers is starting to look like freaking Miami. This is absolutely ridiculous here. I mean, frankly, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be down here, because if they don't stop the building down here, I'm out of here. But it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere's getting overpopulated, but it's
My
just
brother said the same thing about Knoxville, because I'm like, well, you know what, bro? I'm thinking about selling and moving up to Knoxville. He goes, Barb, they're building everywhere here. I'm like, oh, great.
everybody's going, like if they're like we were just talking about, people are leaving from here, and Georgia's mad because all these Floridians are showing up in their state. And it's like there's soon going to be nowhere to go. It's just every place is going to be populated, and people are going, well, what happened to this or what happened to that? It's gone. So you got to
I mean,
set your
I know if I
priorities.
won the lottery tomorrow, if I won, like, say, you know, $500 billion lottery, I would buy up so much damn property down here, and I would make sure they could never build on that.
Talking about that, there are groups of people that just your every average person gets together and they go in and buy properties. I got to find out what that's called, because I was a friend of mine, we were just talking about this other day, and I was wanting to know how to get involved in it. But they do. They go around and they buy large pieces of land and they're preserving it.
Oh, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, because I don't know what it costs to be part of it, but a friend of mine was just telling me about this.
Oh, Lisa Romero, yeah, New York City, people are moving to New Jersey. Yeah, I think anyone is smart to get the heck out of New York City, for sure. Like, there is no way I could possibly live there. Oh,
Our daughter to make sure. Yeah, Marie said we told our daughter to make sure she wants to do something she knows is wrong. What punishment she may get from officials would be minor compared to what she would get at home. Funny that she continued that sentiment with her three boys. That's awesome. Um, We had 2 cases on Vancouver Island that someone killed them. What's happening here? Cougars are around because they are getting forced out of the mountains.
So sad.
Tons of raccoons. Yes, there is a lot of raccoons. Big family, big cats have dried.
I love the little raccoons, little bandits. They're so stinking cute.
Of course, Susan, they want that nice, beautiful sandy beach that you have and that beautiful water on Clearwater.
Yeah,
They have pretty beaches.
they do.
Wow, Rebecca said that people moved from New York to where she lives. Where are you at again, Rebecca? I saw that. So I saw where their program was failing in California. They did this program so people could get cheaper rent and all that. And they said, I think it was 70% of those people, I better not say any numbers because I'm not positive, but a large percentage was back living on the street because the program just totally failed. Or
California
it's
is such a
failing. It's
crap hole.
failing right now.
Sorry. California is awful. That'd be the last place I'd live.
Jacksonville.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Line.
I have actually neighbors that came from California at the end of the road, and what they pay in California buying a almost $1 million place at the end of our road is like nothing to them, is what they said to us compared
Yeah.
to what they pay.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy in California. Just,
Yeah.
the gas, the taxes is just insane.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see that, prices start dropping more than 2 cents.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of stuck over here because the 31 bridge is closed for 10 days starting yesterday. So it
I
comes back
saw
to
that.
the 23rd, but it needs to be done. I'm talking about for sure. It's
Well, yeah,
dangerous.
before someone
Dangerous
falls
bridge,
into the Caloosahatchee.
right? It's weird when you would go over there. You would go over that bridge, you could kind of feel it. It was really bad. And then
Oh,
they
yeah,
made it
just
no trucks could drive.
wobbling back and forth. I used to go over that all the time. So it's crazy.
Tina Berry said you need to live in the Adirondacks.
Ooh. No, too cold.
Wow, that's crazy. Went to Virginia. Yeah, it has to be just so expensive. I've never been to California. I haven't really traveled to anywhere too much except Arkansas. I've been through a few states. I'm not a big traveler, kind of like just to stay in my state. Well, guys, we will see you next week.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And if you have any topics that you'd like us to cover, let us know. You can always send us a private message. You can
Yeah.
send a message to Florida Country Magazine. We appreciate everyone that comes and shows up every weekend. And I like our new format because we can talk about the Eagles still, and we can still talk about other things. And if we can't make a big difference in the world, at least our group can. So, and I'm proud to know every one of you that do care about wildlife and want to put them first. That makes me warm to my heart that people
Yeah,
care about the
me
same
too.
thing I do. So I think it's very
Definitely.
good and a good group of people. So have a good night, and we'll see you next week. See you next Tuesday.